right. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our August village meeting. For those who are keeping score, we did not have one in July, so we do have quite a bit of information to share. And we've got a lot of info to cover in an hour. So we'll go ahead and get started. We will start as we always do with Employee of the Month. The difference is this month we have two because we did not do July. So I will start off with the month of July. The July Employee of the Month comes to us from the Healthcare Center Nursing Department. I'm going to read some of the comments that were made by residents, coworkers, and this person's supervisor. She makes everyone feel important. She is sincere and friendly. She is a delight to be around. She is alert and responsive to the needs of our residents. She has a welcoming smile. She takes great pride in her job. Flexible and an excellent team player, never hesitates to lend a helping hand. Welcomed by all residents, refreshing to see her work ethic in motion, anticipates our needs, is efficient and thoughtful, embodies everything that Friendship Village Tempe stands for. For these reasons and many more, she deserves to be the Employee of the Month. Our winner this month is Sadie Anson. Is Sadie here today? Pardon? She's on her way. All right, we'll just have to surprise her when she gets here. All right. We will move on to the month of August. All right. The Employee of the Month for August comes to us from Dining Services. Comments from residents, coworkers, and supervisors are as follows. Always helpful, beyond expectation. Cheerful and welcoming to all. Efficient, goes the extra mile. Gracious and kind. Has a pleasant smile, calm sense of humor. Welcomed by all residents. Anticipates our needs and knows what we like. Seems to have an endless amount of energy. We are very fortunate to have her for these reasons and many more. She deserves to be Employee of the Month. Our winner this month is Janet Flores, our cafe attendant. Hello, how are you? I harassed Janet quite a bit, so it's good to have her up here. She left us at one time and came to her senses and came back. I was patiently waiting for her. Janet, I have a pin that you can put on your name badge that tells everybody you are Employee of the Month for August of 2019. I have this lovely plaque that I am sure we could find a spot in the cafe to display for the month of August. I have the original lovely letter with all the true things that were said about you and $200 cash.
Thank you so much. I really, truly like working here, and I appreciate this.
Congratulations. Oh, wait, yeah. Okay, you're good, I'm sorry. Okay, I have been advised that Sadie Anson, our Employee of the Month for the month of July, has arrived. As she comes forward, I'll say some of the lovely things. Come on up, Sadie. Because Sadie didn't get to hear all these lovely things. Sadie makes everybody feel important. She's sincere and friendly, delight to be around, alert and responsive to our needs, a welcoming smile, great pride in her job, flexible and excellent team player, never hesitates to help lend a helping hand, welcomed by all residents, refreshing to see her work ethic in motion, and anticipates our needs, is sufficient and thoughtful, and embodies everything Friendship Village Tempe stands for. Congratulations, Sadie. That's okay, that's all right. All right, Sadie, so I have a pin that you can put on your name badge. Goes right through it. It tells everybody you're Employee of the Month. I have this lovely plaque that you can find a spot for, hopefully on the neighborhood that you're working on. I have the original letter with all the lovely things that were said about you and $200 cash. Congratulations. Would you like to say something? She's a woman of few words. Sometimes that's appreciated. All right. I better just just stop right there. Okay, thank you. Congratulations, Employees of the Months. Next, we have a Quilts of Valor presentation. We have two residents that are going to be receiving Quilts of Valor, and today we have Cecilia Dahl, who is going to be presenting them. Please welcome Cecilia to the stage.
Hello, everyone. My name is Cecilia Dahl. I've been a resident here for about a year and a half, and I've been involved with Quilts of Valor for about 4 years. I started making quilts because I wanted to thank members of my extended family who were currently serving, and then that just grew to include others who have served. As a representative of the Quilts of Valor Foundation, it's my privilege and responsibility to inform others about Quilts of Valor. Most of you heard a pretty extensive one the last couple times if you were here, so it's going to be shorter than that. Quilts of Valor is a grassroots foundation of quilters from all across the United States. It started in 2003 by a quilter who wanted to do something as she was thinking about her son who was serving in Afghanistan. Since then, over 225,000 quilts have been made. And one of the things you may not know is that many hands go into a lot of the quilts. Some of us may cut the pieces, some of us may piece the top. A quilter, a long-arm quilter, will frequently quilt it. Someone else will put on the binding, someone else will make the label, someone else will make the presentation case. So these are thank yous from a lot of people who care. It's an expression of gratitude meant to thank and comfort our veterans or current service people. We honor them for leaving all they held dear to serve, whether in time of crisis or in time of peace. The Quilt of Valor says thank you for your service, your sacrifice, and valor in serving our nation. We believe that as we sow love and caring, gratitude flow from our hearts through our hands into the quilts we make. All of us as quilters want you to know that through our quilts, you are forever in our hearts. Today, it's my honor to award the following individuals with their Quilts of Valor on behalf of the Quilts of Valor Foundation and the Friendship Village Quilters. First, Joe Shelton. Can you come up, Joe, and stand down here? No, he doesn't have to come up. We'll, right down here is fine. Joe was a U.S. Navy medic on a hospital ship in the Pacific during World War II.
It is so beautiful. How do you thank the people who made it? We just say thank you.
We hope this quilt will bring him honor and comfort, though we may never know the depth of his sacrifice to protect and defend the United States. As a gesture of gratitude from a grateful nation, we ask each of you to please come forward. Next is Bruce Brownlee. Bruce was a career military. He served in the Army Signal Corps for over 20 years and served in Vietnam from 1969 to 1970. He is also a Purple Heart recipient. On behalf of the Quilts of Valor Foundation and a grateful nation, with our deepest appreciation, we thank you for your service to our country with this Quilt of Valor. Thank you, and most importantly, welcome home. On each of our quilts that we award is a label that will tell you a little bit about the quilt. It'll tell you who made it, some of the hands that touched it, but not necessarily all of them. As of today, the story of this quilt becomes your story. We hope you'll keep this quilt with you as a tangible reminder that there are thousands of men and women across this land who are forever in your debt, both of you, and that it is our pleasure to honor you with a quilt of valor. We will be doing another Quilt of Valor award near Veterans Day, the November meeting, and so if you have someone that you'd like to nominate, Mimi has nomination forms, and we will do our best to get busy sewing and quilting. Thank you all, and thank the two of you especially.
Thank you, Cecilia, and thank you, quilters, for acknowledging these gentlemen and their service. All right. We do not have a report from the foundation or Arlene Morris, our foundation president. Do we have a report from Mary Gray, our residence council president? That is a no as well. All right, we are sailing right along here. Do we have a report from Neil Peterson, our marketing and sales director? We do. He's got some really good information to tell you. I would love to stand up here and share it, but I think Neil's the guy that has earned it. So, I was going to do that as part of my presentation. Okay. All right. We've got technical difficulties. First, before we have Neil Peterson come up and tell us all the wonderful stuff, we do have our executive chef for our dining services department here. His name is Travis, and we wanted to introduce Travis to you. So, the mic is yours, my friend.
Well, I really don't know what to say other than hello, everybody. And I really look forward to being here with all of you and doing my best to be the best chef you can have. So I appreciate all of you, and you're very, very kind people. Thank you. Yeah.
All right. So, a little bit about the interview process. We had some really amazing candidates. We were very lucky in terms of the folks that we were able to spend some time with and get to know better. And through our time with Travis, the thing that was absolutely crystal clear is the guy knows how to build a team. And that is one thing that we really have never quite had as strong as we would like in the dining services department. And we knew what we needed, and that was what we focused on. And I do believe that's exactly who we hired. So we're looking forward to that. The other cool thing that's happened is, you know, we did not have a sous chef as well. And so this will be the first time that I've been here where the executive chef actually gets to hire their sous chef versus inheriting someone. And I think that's going to go a long way towards building the team that we're looking to build and ultimately take our dining services program to a level that we've always shot for, but we knew we needed the right people in the right spots to do so, and I honestly believe we are there. So look out and getting ready to loosen up your belts a little bit because I think we're going to have some fun. Now we have Neil Peterson, our marketing and sales director. Please welcome Neil to the stage.
Good to see you all. It is almost through the summer, but not really. Well, this is a big turnout this time of the year. Somebody's filling this place up. I'm not sure who that would be, but it's good to see every one of you here today. I do have some great news, I think, to share. We continue somehow to keep busy in our marketing department. Team's worked very hard and continues to, and showing what we can show. I've also got a little beginning to share with you on our new apartment development and how the sales are going with that. So I'm going to get to that in just a second here. But I'm going to back up for a minute. Since we did not have a village meeting last month, I want to start by sharing the quarterly results that we had for Q2, which again runs from the 1st of April through the end of June. So if Paul could advance it, there we go. Okay, if you can kind of see that, if you can't, I'll be happy to take you through it. But again, this is a summary of what we accomplished in the second quarter. We ended up with 18 closings, and of those, 14 were traditional contracts. We had 1 ROC, and we had 3 leases out of those 18. The total entrance fees, if anyone cares to know, is about $3.572 million, almost $73 million entrance fees. The total monthly fees are close to a little bit over $67,500 per month that we'll now be generating for the village. And the way it broke out this time for that quarter that ended June 30th was 5 garden homes and 13 apartments. We have 10 couples and 8 singles for those with a need to know that. What about our sales? Sales, we had 15 net sales. 13 of those were traditional, had no ROCs in second quarter. We did have 2 leases, and those broke out to 6 garden homes and 9 apartments. And so overall, at the end of Q2, we were sitting at 97%, a little bit 97.2% sold, and 95%, which is a big number, our move-in team and our move-in construction team, whatever, been working frantically to get things shored up here, so we're up to 95. They'll never be exactly the same because there'll always be a lag between when it gets sold and when we complete it and get somebody closed on it, but we're certainly narrowing that gap pretty dramatically. So if I can interrupt for just a second, could you grab Bruce's? I think he's coming back to get the cushions in the seat right behind you at the end. He's in the back. There he is. He's in the back. I know, I went to get you, but no, I'm teasing. All right. So anyway, that's kind of where we stood at the end of the second quarter. I will begin my remarks on the new apartment complex in that embedded in the 5 net sales were 5 brand new apartments that will be constructed. Hope to, fingers crossed, be moving people in spring of 2021. But these 5 people we had met with and had provided us with their 10% deposit and all of their normal CDA stuff that you all went through years ago, as well as their medical records and so forth, and they're going through the approval process. But they were sold, deposited, signed the contracts, etc. I'm thrilled to tell you that we have added 10 more new apartment sales since the beginning of July. We are now 15 out of 40, and we have just begun. The team is doing a terrific job. The process, I kind of like to refer to as coming in waves. We schedule very meticulously the first week of appointments, and then they come in during that week and visit and learn everything they didn't know before, and then they can get to go home and make some decisions. But at the time of that first appointment, they give us their first 3 selections. You know, which of these apartments that are available are you most interested in, and they provide that. And we've done it in a very detailed priority listing. So again, if you were number 1 in the priority list, you'd have a pick of all 40 apartments to go from. Then those people come back in week 2, so it's kind of a 2-week process to make the deposit, unless they've called us and said, you know, I've changed my mind. Knock on wood, we haven't had that yet. That's remarkable. So we've had a total now of 15, including the 10 that we've just added in July. We're now in the first wave of the next set. So hopefully by the end of next week, we'll have additional ones to add to that. And our goal, certainly now, short-term goal, is to get to 20 as soon as possible so we can complete finalizing for our submission for financing. And God willing, we may have a shovel in the ground early this fall. And I mean, maybe September, but we'll see. I said things about the dog park too. I got to remember, I got to be careful what I say. Anyway, but I'm in sales. So we're very excited about that. And I hope that, you share in that. It's been a wonderful cross-section of our offerings of 1 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, and so forth. It's kind of been all over. Everybody has different things that they would like with these new apartments, and we're just very, very excited about it. Obviously, it's more of a concept and everything, but these people are going along with us, and the team has done a terrific job. And speaking of terrific job, we just finished the month of July yesterday, and I am very proud to tell you that we ended up for the month of July, now 10 of those I've already kind of told you about, we ended up with 15 net sales in July, which I think is remarkable. This is a hot time of the year. So in addition to those 10 new apartments, we had 3 cottages, garden homes that we sold. These are people that came off of our ready list, as you recall. People to get on a ready list have to give us $10,000 to get on a list for the garden homes or for the Main Street apartments. We have a large list, and so we're going right to those people in the order in which they're setting to take them through, okay, we've got an opening here, can you get in here tomorrow, the day after? So we've sold 3 garden homes through that process. We've also sold 2 additional apartments, so now we're finishing the month of July with 15 net sales, which is terrific. It's one of the biggest months we've had overall, so I'm very, very pleased about that. And as I've said before, my team does a great job of selling, but you all, in many ways, start the process. You're selling us whether you're even conscious of it or not. I cannot tell you how many times we take prospects through this place, and hopefully you had this experience yourself, and they're coming back to us going, I don't understand what's going on here. These people are all really happy. And we talk about the Kool-Aid, and we talk about coal, and we talk, you know. But the bottom line is you folks are selling it. And one of the ways you help us also sell is our resident referral program, which I bother you with from time to time in your mailboxes, and they're always available in the marketing office, where if you happen to have a friend or relative, whatever, that says, my goodness, I think this person would absolutely love it here, and I think this would be the greatest thing they could ever do, please turn those referrals in. We may be in a situation where your referral comes in and meets with us, and we go, this is terrific. And I think I mentioned last meeting, I believe I did, but we're in process, we're utilizing them now. All of my reps have iPads, and we had videos taken of virtually an example of a Real, couple, Alegria, all of our garden homes, all of our Main Street apartments, not all of them, I say one of each as an example, possibly 2 of one style. And we took, wonderful video. We can share that with these prospects because we really don't have a model Amistad or Bonita to show them in the Main Street apartments. From time to time, you're all gracious about, hey, if you want to show my place, and that's great, but it works out really well with these iPads as well. We also have still shots, so that's kind of what we're selling from. But anyway, if people come in now and this is what they want, probably what we'll be trying to convince them to do is get on the ready list, because that's the next step to get to those places. Courtyard, it just depends. If there's something available, then we may be able to, if the timing is right, we can get you into a courtyard. But overall, it's really worked well, and I appreciate so much, we all do, the support you give us, the leads you give us. That always helps. And with that in mind, it is the end of the second quarter, so I actually have some gift cards to award today. I'm just going to announce the winners, and then at the end of the meeting, if you're present, if you would come up to the front, and I'll be happy to give you your gift cards. And again, as a reminder, the way the program simply works is if you provide us with a lead, and that lead is in our database, which is possible. We've got a few hundred in there. We built it up over the years. You're still going to be eligible for the drawing for the Dinner for Four, which we'll do in just a minute, for the fireside. If it happens to be that your lead that you provide us is like brand new to us, and we've never pursued this couple or individual, and we are successful in not only connecting with them, but selling them, and they close within a year of your referral, we're going to give your referral $500 gift card as a thank you for coming in, and we're going to give you, most importantly, a $500 gift card for your referral. So again, it's just another way that, to hopefully highlight how important you all are to us and to our success, and we really appreciate that. So with that in mind, I want to give you the names of the winners for Q2, or the gift card recipients, I should say, and again, just come on up at the end, but Linda Hurlburt referred Bill and Donna Fusen, and the Fusens are now living here happily, and Linda and the Fusens are going to get gift cards. Ann Cotton referred Mary Jo Rybalt. So if Mary Jo is here today, or Ann, please come up, and if not, I will find those that couldn't be here today. And Dale and Pat Bowen referred Larry and Patty Warnke. So they are all going to get gift cards. Both those couples are going to get gift cards. So we're thrilled to do that. So with no further ado, let me go ahead and let's draw for the winners for the Dinner for Fireside. And again, these are leads that you give us, terrific, and even if they're in our database, no problem, you're still in the drawing. And if Jay Dean could come up and help me with this for a minute. We got till 2 o'clock. Okay, oh my goodness. Pat and Mike Ivanich. Yeah, they're here. They're in the back. Have you been to the fireside before, you two? I'm not sure I've seen you. Okay, I just want to make sure. They've heard about it. Dinner for 4. You can bring your friends. David Carson. Congratulations, David. Also a winner. If either of you at the end, if you're up, come on up to the front and I'll give you your cards. Thank you so much for these leads as well. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Jadine Schmidt, the Health Services Administrator. For those of you that do not know me, Cole usually introduces, but it's a nice transition when I draw just to come in and do my report. Nunningham census for the month of July was 65 of 67 apartments occupied. Memory care census was 23 of 24 apartments occupied. The healthcare center census was 104 of 128 apartments occupied. We had 44 admissions with 40 discharges for the month of July. I wanted to remind you all, I believe they'll be taking the sign-in sheets probably down shortly if they haven't already, and I'm hoping not. I feel like I've been gone all summer, so I'm a little out of touch with my Health Services Advisory Committee. But we will be holding the quarterly accounting and admissions forum on August 6th, and it's in the rec center this time. You can sign up at the alcove to attend. They are in hour increments. I always say I encourage residents that have lived here for a long time just because insurance changes. Medicare has made a ton of changes this past year, just so that you know what to expect if you happen to have a healthcare center stay. And then certainly if you are a new village resident, it's always good to know what you're expecting from the accountings and admissions side of a healthcare center admission. So I welcome you, and then if it is too late to sign up for any reason, again, we have those quarterly. I believe we'll have our last one for this year in November. Anyone that's been at the healthcare center has known that we are under a lobby renovation, much like yourself. The last part of our project is actually the week of August 26th. We'll be having our furniture delivered and our artwork. I know I have a lot of anxious desk volunteers that feel like their job's been taken away, and it has temporarily, and we miss you too, by the way, all of you. I have a few that come over and visit still, which is super nice, but as soon as we can get the volunteer desk back and operational, we will. There will not be a delay in that, so pardon our dust in the meantime, but hopefully the project will be completed the first or second week in September. After furniture is artwork and then just detail pieces, so we also look forward to having a new lobby and less construction and dust as well. All right, Paul, it's that time of year again. We are fundraising for the Alzheimer's Association. Will you advance one more slide, Paul? There we go. So those of you, I believe, that attended the casino night, you don't have to raise your hands. They kicked off the sales for the Alzheimer's t-shirts there. I want to thank Ann Dellis and Jerry Hall. They are the designers of our t-shirt this year. They can be purchased at any receptionist desk for $20. So if you're interested in a t-shirt, please see them and get your t-shirt. We as staff are also purchasing them, and then we are able to wear them to work on payday Fridays. So when you see a bunch of happy people in purple t-shirts, you'll know we got paid. Let's see here. So we're doing things a little bit different than we have as far as fundraising in the past. I think probably people that were here remember that we had the car wash, and we really lacked getting volunteers. Of course, a car wash is lots of work, even though it's a lot of fun. So we're changing up our fundraising efforts, and we've decided to do a silent auction of donated items, which is the second bullet point up there. I'm not going to read to you, or excuse me, the third bullet point. The display case is being set up by Mary and Jan Wise this afternoon, so providing they're able to put all of that together. You'll be able to see the items after this afternoon, but of course, August 2nd through the 31st is the time. Mary asked me to remind you to do your Christmas shopping early. It will be a silent auction. And then the barbecue, which is always an awesome event. Everyone loves that. We did not change a thing. That will be September 28th, and the tickets will be on sale in the lobby for pre-sale, just like they have in years past. So you'll be able to come and buy tickets ahead of time. And then, of course, tickets can always be purchased day of if you're not sure what your life will bring you on that date. And then last but not least, one more slide, Paul. So we're doing the walk here at Friendship Village. In the past, the walk is at Wesley Boland Plaza down in Phoenix. And our attendance for the residents has waned quite a bit, and I think it's because the course is too long. Perhaps the event is so huge that it's a little bit overwhelming to people. So we thought that it would be nice to do our walk here and hopefully have some more participation. So we will have a half-mile course and a mile course that you can participate. We're asking everyone, of course, to wear their t-shirts that they purchased, and we're also inviting staff. So I'm hoping that we have quite the crowd. That date will be November 2nd, and the walk will start at 9 a.m. And there will be more to come with that in the Villager, and of course, I'm sure 1960 as well. Are there any questions I can answer? Yes. Okay. Okay, she asked about the grandfather clock in the lobby,
Yeah.
and I am more than thrilled to say that doesn't fall under my oversight. So that will be Emily. She will take that for you, and she's already made a note. So she's got you. Second question?
Yeah, the second one is, are you going to have any kind of an auditorium or something to explain Alzheimer's a little better? Like, why aren't you doing something to end dementia? So maybe there's a difference between the two?
We haven't considered that. Let me take that back to Mary, and I will, if you stay after just a minute, because I don't know you, so I can get your name.
Okay.
We can circle together if that works for you. All right. Awesome. Anything else?
When will the t-shirts be on sale for the Alzheimer's again?
They are on sale now, and it's pre-order. They've already ordered one batch of 37, so as soon as we get another, group of t-shirts ready to go, we will order them. And I do not think that the lead time is very long, less than a week.
We just go over to the healthcare center now and
You can actually go to Mimi.
oh, okay.
Any receptionist desk will take your money and get your t-shirt sale.
Okay.
Yep. Anyone else? Thank you. Have a wonderful afternoon.
Cole decided he's too hot and tired to do introductions, so hi, it's Emily. A few things for you. The resident guide is out. I'm hoping you're using these long, hot days to luxuriate in your apartments where you don't pay for air conditioning and reading all 94 pages of it. So we worked really, really hard on that, and I hope it's informative and helpful. And feel free to give me suggestions or corrections, but give me a week to just bask, please. And then let me know what was wrong. But we're hoping that's a good tool for everyone. We tried to make sure everything was up to date, and we try to do that every couple of years. So thank you to everyone that helped us proofread it, and we'll hit it again in a few years. One thing IT wanted me to let you know was they had something happen which I thought was pretty neat. They had called a resident to work on some of their technology, and the resident actually called environmental services to verify whether that employee actually did work here. So I thought that was a good suggestion with all the scams going around and things that we are all susceptible to. Feel free, if you're ever wondering, to call back to the front desk or environmental services to check and see if it's a legitimate phone call. So that's always an option for you. 2 items on walkers. One is we have, as you can see, a very crowded auditorium a lot of times. Just wanted to do a reminder, and I have a lovely diagram as well, to please keep walkers on the edges here. I see we're in full compliance today. Thank you for that. But as you can see from the diagram, we are required to keep a certain distance for egress. It's part of the fire marshal's recommendations. So the activities committee with the MCs and the greeters that work in the concerts and other events we have wanted me to ask you, please, please, please bear this in mind. If they are asking to move a walker to the wall, there's a very particular reason, and that is to keep everyone safe in the event of an emergency. While we're on the topic of walkers, we often have a little bit of walker confusion, is what I'm going to call it, where someone says, yeah, mine's the black one. Mine's the red one. Can you get me the red one? So just a reminder that if you can, please label your walker in whatever way you would like. If that's a luggage tag, if that's a sticker, just keep your name on that. It'll help us all keep organized. We've had a few walker mishmashes and missing walker signs. So let's do that. We have a few upgrades going on, as Jadine mentioned. We are working on our lobby as well. And to the question, we are actually moving the grandfather clock into the administration hallway. So right when you come in, it'll be on the left, and the plaque will move right along with it. So everyone can still go visit the grandfather clock about 200 feet away. We are working on the desk currently, as you probably have noticed from the giant hole that's going. We're hoping to have that done around the middle of August. We are doing the final kind of design pieces on the desk. They're fabricating it, and we're going to get it installed. We are progressively lowering the lighting. We're thinking maybe if you don't notice, we'll just get it pitch black. That's kind of the goal. Then your food looks better, everything, people look better, it's good. So we know it's dark, really sorry. They are removing the fixtures, and then they're going to bring a lot of them in around the same time. So it's probably going to go from cave to hospital room about overnight. But it's going to be great. Bear with us. We're planning to be done with the whole project in September. And so that's going to be a really nice thing. And thank you for bearing with us over the summer as we do that. Our next project that we're going with is the rec center bathrooms. That has been a long-standing one that we have worked on. We're going to take a stall out of each restroom to make the area bigger and more accessible to people who have walkers, wheelchairs, scooters, all those kind of things. And while we're in there, we're going to do some upgrades because they were definitely older bathrooms. So we will have that going on from now until about the middle of August. We have some lovely temporary bathrooms that are air-conditioned and accessible. So if you're in the rec center and you need it, you can take advantage for a short time only. So those are there, and they are air-conditioned, and they were not inexpensive. So we are also doing one more upgrade on the Del Fuego Sports Lounge, everyone's favorite sports lounge. We have the misters installed, as you have probably noticed, and we are putting some lights in the tree, similar to the ones in the tree by the cafe patio. We think that'll look really nice, so that if you've seen some of the drilling and the concrete work, we are running the electricity to the tree. And the last thing that we're working on, pretty neat, a couple months ago I introduced to you Matt Roeder, our new Director of Environmental Services. He happens to have a side hobby in setting up arcade games. So he is actually building an arcade game for Del Fuego where you can, it'll be free, and you can just find your old school games from way back, both from my generation and those before, all the way to Atari, and you can play some games. We thought that was very Del Fuego appropriate, so that won't take up too much space. It'll be on a wall, so keep an eye out for that. And I think that's about it for me. Can I answer any questions? Oh, I see one from Mike.
Thanks, Paul. The outdoor tables at Del Fuego, whatever the finish is on the tops doesn't look too good after just a few months.
Mm-hmm.
Is there something we can do about that?
Oh, interesting. Let me take a look at that. I thought maybe they just got dusty, but there's something actually happening to
No,
the
it's
finish.
like something soaked into the.
Oh, calcium from the misters is what
Yeah,
Cole
it was
telling me.
started before the misters.
Okay, before the
It's
misters.
worse now.
Okay. So the misters didn't help is what you're saying.
Well, depends.
We'll take a look. Thank you for letting me know. Anyone else? Okay, thank you very much.
All right, thank you. My name's Cole Marvin, the Executive Director here at Friendship Village. Nice to meet you all. Let's start off with a master planning update. We just heard all of the amazing work that Neil and his team has done, continues to do. It's unbelievable how good of a job they are doing for us. They took a list of 60-plus people who put $1,000 deposits down and have been actively meeting with them and working closely with them and getting them to convert that fully refundable $1,000 deposit into a 10% conversion. That is where they actually select the floor plan, the exact floor and location at which the apartment will be on. And right now, I think we're sitting right around 16. Our goal was to get to a minimum of 20 people that have fully converted and selected a home, which is out of 40, so effectively 50%. The reason that a lot of times you like to shoot for 70%, but because the village is so well occupied in all of the other areas and continuing to perform financially very strong, they were pretty flexible with us and drawing the line at 20 out of 40. So we're really confident at this point that we're going to get there. We're going to hit that 20 for sure, and hopefully maybe even go over. So based upon the good news that we're seeing, we've made the decision to select the finance partner that we are going to work with, and we interviewed 3. We did select Ziegler. Ziegler is by far the largest player in that business and is the same group that we had worked with in 2012 when we consolidated all of our debt. So we have selected Ziegler. We know who we're working with. They're a great bunch of people, and they do their job in a very solid way. We're assuming, like I said, we're going to hit the 20 sales possibly in this month of August, highly likely. So we're starting to target our financing to be in place by late October is really the goal that we're shooting at, because it takes quite a bit of time to get your offering statement put together, put it in front of investors, and allow investors to take a look at it and make decisions as to whether or not they want to get involved. My guess is there's going to be a lot of investors that are very interested in purchasing bonds. So I don't think the financing really is going to be an issue. And of course, with the Fed cutting the rate another quarter point, that certainly doesn't help hurt us and helps us get money hopefully a little cheaper. So we're working with the Tempe Industrial Development Authority, the Tempe IDA, the same group we worked with in 2012 for our bonds, tax-exempt bonds. And residents and their families would absolutely have an opportunity to purchase these bonds as they always have in the past. So there will be a lot more information coming out specific to the bonds. I know I've been talking to a few residents with good questions back and forth. Their financial people that they work with have questions. So at some point, we're going to have Mary Munoz of Ziegler come. We'll be in the auditorium. Anybody that's interested in investing are invited. And generally, we have some pretty positive turnout. I mean, you're looking at 4.5% return on your money, and pretty hard to get out there today, depending upon how risky you're looking to get. So expect that to be fun, and that's really the update. Things are going really well. Sales are strong, and that, like I said, led us to the point where we felt comfortable to get things started up on the finance side, and believe that we will continue to move along nicely. In the dining services department, we all had a chance to meet Travis. I really think he's going to be a great addition to the team. I couldn't be happier to have him in place, and really looking forward to getting our executive sous chef hired, the person that would be his right-hand person to assist him. So that is underway. We're in the process of recruiting, and hopefully we get the same caliber of people that we did for the executive chef job as we do for the sous chef job. So that is good. We are working on migrating away from the program we use here that manages our dining dollars. It's called Resident Choice. And it's really, when you look at your ticket, say you get a ticket from the fireside or from the cafe, and you look at it and it tells you how many dining dollars you used and how many you have left and this, that, and the other thing. There's a program that does that, and that's called Resident Choice. And it's seen its best days, and we knew that. And we had gone out and started looking at other programs and have settled on one called Full Count. Really good program. Our friends at Royal Oaks have been using it for about a year now and have been happy with it. We sent a team over there to see it in action and ask them all the questions they needed to ask to get comfortable and feel good about making that change. So we are in the process of that happening, and I can absolutely guarantee you it's not going to go smoothly. It'll be a full-fledged nightmare for at least a week or two. And that's me being optimistic. So what I will say about Full Count is it's the only point of sale system that was specifically designed to be used in senior communities, senior living communities. So that's definitely something that we were looking for, and it's going to add a lot more capability to you, the users. A lot of times people will have to come and see Brian to ask questions, and that's still absolutely more than welcome. And Teresa and Brittany have also been able to field those questions. But with the new system, you folks would be able to go in and look at your account, look at your past purchases, get real-time answers to account-related questions, monitor your purchasing behavior over time, and possibly use that information to budget and plan for yourself. So that we'll have that feature that you can go in and take a look at it yourself, and we're looking to connect it to our Resident Apps program. So I think that's something you're already familiar with. It'll just be a button, take you in there. So we're excited to see what that has. And another capability that it has, and we're not looking to do this right now, we're gonna make sure we can walk before we start running, but it has the capability of allowing residents to place takeout and delivered meals as well. So that's something that could be of use to you. So that's dining services. Our accounting department. One thing Luis has always asked me to do, and I haven't done as good a job as I should, is just suggest or encourage you to consider getting involved in the direct debit program, the ACH, where it automatically pays your bill for you. If you're not doing that, I would encourage you to consider it. It is pretty slick and it works. I've got most of my bills set up that way, and it makes Luis and his team their job a lot easier as well. So if it's something you want to think about, come see us. We can get those questions answered. We are underway with the 2020 budget. We have started officially, meeting with department directors, talking about wages, talking about staff, capital equipment, talking to Neil about revenue and sales, and really getting our hands around information sooner than we normally do, and so that we can get that information hopefully compiled and give us more time to spend with our Residents Council Finance Committee, with our Board of Directors Finance Committee. The good news is we're doing very well, and that tends to help the situation. So we are in the process of doing that, and with 7 months under our belt officially, we've got pretty good numbers on how we've done in 19 that we can use to project for 2020. We do have another bump in minimum wage coming down the pipe, and it's going to go up to $12, and that has an impact on the village. So that's something we're right now working on hard to get our hands around and understand what that net impact looks like. So those are some of the things that we're working on. I have a pretty serious subject to talk about, and if you know me, I like to just try to keep it real and get out in front of it. We have a situation here in Maricopa County with West Nile virus. It is more activity on West Nile virus this year than has happened in a very long time. All in Maricopa County. Right now, year to date, we have 27 confirmed cases. Again, all of those are in Maricopa County, and just as a point of reference, for 2018, the total number was 27. So 7 months in at 27, we're going to blow that away. Some of the information that I was able to get in doing research to be able to share with you, and this is not intended to scare people, it's intended to give people information so you're aware. But people that are 60 years and older, especially those with compromised immune systems, are at the highest risk for complications of West Nile virus. And those complications at the worst end could be up to and including like a meningitis type effect and or encephalitis. So some pretty serious stuff. In talking about what has led to this surge, because West Nile has been in the valley since 2003. It's not brand new to the valley, but we're seeing more and more cases this year. And the reason is we had a very wet spring. There was more water, which was conducive to mosquito breeding. And the other thing that happened was the birds stayed longer. And the more birds and more mosquitoes you have, the better chance for the virus to spread. Because that's basically the way it happens. Mosquitoes feed on infected birds, and then infected mosquitoes bite you, and that's how you get it. So that's really the recipe that got us to where we're at here. We have been aware of the mosquito issue here on our campus. We've been trying several different strategies to get in front of these things, and they're definitely pesky, and we've had a heck of a time with it. I've got a quick video that I want to show you, which is what we have been using and found most effective thus far, and I think it's pretty interesting. I thought you might appreciate seeing it, so I just want to share this video with you.
The Into-Care trap targets mosquitoes that are ready to lay their eggs. The odor lure attracts Aedes mosquitoes, which can transmit Zika, dengue, and chikungunya virus and yellow fever. Attracted by the smelly water, the mosquito enters the trap and searches a spot to settle, near the water's surface. The gauze on the floater is an ideal location for the insect to land. She uses the gauze to rest while laying her eggs in the water. Unknowingly, she contaminates the water with particles from the gauze. These particles were transferred to her skin when making contact with her legs and body. The gauze has a special coating that uses polarity to bind mosquito-killing powders. The positive charge of the insect makes the particles transfer to her skin. Her body is contaminated with two different actives, one that slowly kills the mosquito and one that kills her larvae. After a few days, the eggs laid in the trap hatch and become larvae. These larvae produce a smell that will attract more mosquitoes to lay eggs in the trap, thereby enhancing its effectiveness. The larvicide in the water kills the larvae just before they are ready to pupate. The dead pupae sink to the bottom and are eaten by younger larvae. If the trap contains many mosquito larvae, then this shows that it is working well. Fortunately, none of these larvae will ever become adult-biting mosquitoes. They will all be killed by the larvicide. After laying a batch of eggs, the now contaminated mosquito flies out of the trap. She goes and searches for another location to lay more eggs. Rainwater in an old car tire provides a nice spot to breed. When she contacts the water, the larvicide on her legs dissolves and contaminates the breeding site. This cycle is repeated when the mosquito continues to search for other places to lay her eggs. At every stop, she contaminates the water with larvicide. Even the very small quantities that are transferred can effectively kill all larvae. In this way, she kills her own offspring, as well as offspring from other mosquitoes that use the same breeding site. With this technique, we control mosquito breeding in and around the trap, even in sites that may be small and hard to find by pest control personnel. One trap effectively covers an area of 400 square meters, which is about 4,300 square feet. The larvicide is not the only bioactive in the trap. The second agent is an insect-killing fungus. Its spores attach to the mosquito skin upon contact with the gauze. This fungus is a safe biological active that does not infect humans or pets. The spores use germination tubes to penetrate the insect skin. Once inside the mosquito, the fungus produces blastospores that excrete toxins. This infection makes the mosquito less active and reduces its ability to bite humans. It also inhibits the development of viruses in the mosquito gut. A fungus-infected mosquito can therefore still spread larvicide around the trap but cannot transmit disease. After a few days, the mosquito succumbs to the fungus infection and dies.
All right. That was bonus footage. More than you probably ever wanted to know about mosquitoes, but I think it's important for you folks to know that we're not sitting on our hands. We're taking this very serious, and based upon what we saw, pretty slick approach to really preventing the spread of additional mosquitoes while killing the ones we have. And so what you will see around our campus, a little more than 30 of those pods that we have deployed. We are doing that in addition to spraying. And so I just want you to know we're doing our part. The big reason that I'm sharing this with you is you may or may not know, we actually had a resident who was living in Nunnecamp contract West Nile virus, and she did die from it. So she fit in that compromised immune system and well over 60, and so it was certainly not a good thing. We've been in contact with her daughter, and her daughter is wonderful and absolutely understanding, and of course sad, but understands that it's not something directly from us, and that we're obviously doing our part, but it is something that we do need to be aware of, and is something that's out there. So I just like to put it out there and just be straight up and let you know what's going on. So there you go. A couple other projects that I continue to talk about. The wall. We have the wall that follows the canal. We have finished up our work with SRP. We understand our options as it relates to the type of fence that we can use based upon what we receive from them in terms of where we can go and where we can't. Based upon that, it looks like we will most likely end up with a complete wrought iron fence. It will be 8 feet tall, and we'll have it'll have the spear-pointed pickets that point outward. You may have seen some of those on our campus. That will be the design, and we like that design because it really minimizes the climbability, if that was a word, of the fence. The way it's designed, there's nowhere to get your feet to get up the 8 feet tall, get over the picketed spears that will be pointing out. So we feel like it addresses that situation. The other thing is nice is it will have much less impact or invasiveness on the foliage that currently lines that canal. That's not to say that some foliage will not have to come out, but by using this type of fence, it will most certainly limit having to tear everything out, which is what we were thinking would have to happen. So that makes us happy. We are waiting to get renderings of the fence so that we can share it with the stakeholders who live along the canal. So as soon as we have that, we will be reaching out to our canal residents and have a stakeholder meeting where we can come in and talk about what we're doing, how it's going to work, and what to expect. So more to follow on that, but we are getting closer, looking at September, October in terms of getting started on that project. Community garden continues to put along. Our intended use permit was approved by the City of Tempe Council, which paved the way for having our lease approved by the city. That is what we're waiting on. We've received feedback from the garden committee members in terms of what they thought on the original design that we presented to them. We took their feedback back to the design build firm that we have worked with, the same people that will be building the 40 apartment building, which will give us some economies of scale in terms of building this garden and not having to have a separate superintendent and things like that. So right now, we're just waiting to get the lease in place. The garden will most likely be at least 2, if not 3 phases over the course of a couple years. And we're looking to get the first phase started in the 4th quarter of 2019. So Nurse practitioner's office, we gathered and compiled the data that was provided by you, the people that filled out the surveys that we were looking for. Special thank you to Michael, our PDP from Life Care Services, who took all that information and compiled it. We are forwarding it to Team Health. That is the group we've partnered with over in the Healthcare Center for our medical director services, and they are going to take a look at the information, see what they see, and we're going to put our heads together and see what we come up with based upon your feedback. So that is that. And one thing Neil had asked me to share is, you know, parking is obviously not ideal here at Friendship Village, and one thing that's happening, especially on the weekends, and our marketing and sales office is actually open always on Saturdays and depending upon appointments on Sundays. The 3 future resident parking spots are now frequently being parked in by residents who are living here, and so my guess is none of them are here at this meeting. Preaching to the choir, but nevertheless, please, if you do park there, please do not, even on the weekends. We really have future residents coming, and if we can't get them parked, it's not a good way to start that relationship off. So if you will please work with me on that, that would be lovely. And last but certainly not least is our happy hour today. It's a Dog Days of August theme. And we will be featuring a Sonoran dog, which is a bacon-wrapped hot dog and served in a bun that has some pinto beans, some chopped tomatoes and onions, and some additional fixings. I got to test kitchen one before I came in here, and it was really good. Very happy with how they executed on that one. Our cocktail will be a Greyhound, which is vodka and grapefruit. So, and it's really good. Really good. So, if that sounds exciting, please come join us. Yes, Mark. A Greyhound. It's a cocktail, and it is a combination of vodka and grapefruit juice. And we're using a special grapefruit juice. It's my favorite, so it's going to be good, promise. And there may be some dogs hanging out as well. So, Michael hasn't been up here? My Lord. Well, one of the dogs that may or may not be there today is Michael Gathright. Michael is our PDP from Life Care Services, and he'll be spending about a year with us. He would be in the same program that brought Emily to us many years ago, as well as Jacob Elliott not so many years ago. So Michael has been a part of the team here since late June, and has been doing a great job, and I'm going to give him the mic to say a couple things.
All right, everybody. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. I've met many of you so far since being here late June. And yeah, Michael Gathright, all the way from Indiana University. Indiana. So I come a far way, Hoosier through and through. I met many Hoosiers here too as well. So, I definitely feel like I'm at home. And yeah, if you want to talk to me, it's nothing but a word. So it's a pleasure to meet you all.
Thank you, Michael, and welcome. All right, that concludes my report. Let the questions begin. Got Frank in the back here first.
You've built a wonderful barbecue and seats, but there's nothing being done that we can eat. Could you give us an update on what's going to happen? I saw that it was on fire the other day, lots of smoke anyway, but...
Did we fire it up?
No, it was steam, actually.
Oh, all right. It was, it hasn't been the best of timing to roll out that area, but at the same time, I think we need to do it. I've got a couple ideas just to kind of christen it, but the reality is that's also your space. And of course, I know it's the summertime and getting together out there probably isn't the exact time, but I do believe as the temps start to cool off a bit, I think we'll probably see more and more activity out there. We're working on some policies and procedures, what you would do should you want to entertain or have family over there. We do have our security involved and would have them lighting the grill, as well as making sure it's out when you're finished, those types of things. And so, but I would like to get something out there, Frank, like a village-sponsored event, even if it's a weenie roast or something, you know. I think we should do something out there. So we will be working on that. Who has the next question? I've got a couple here. The mic's coming right now.
Just curious about the Dining Dollars project. How soon do you think the system is to be swapped out?
I would say that we would expect to have full count in place no later than October. I would think that that would be probably the point where we would have it rolled out. We'll use the Villager to communicate if it falls before the next village meeting in terms of what to expect. We'll use that as the tool, but it's coming pretty soon. We've got training set up. They're going to be sending some people from Full Count out here to help train our team and make sure we're up to speed. Yep. Debbie?
Hi, Cole. I have two questions. The first is, how do we learn more about our new executive chef? And secondly, is there summary, will there be a summary with no identifiers of the information we gleaned in terms of the nurse practitioner clinic available to us?
Yeah. So first on the new executive chef, Travis, what I would like to do is task Brian with getting him prepared to do a presentation on himself at the next Dining Services Forum. I think that would be a good spot for Travis to spend some time in talking about himself. He's been in the business since he was 16, went straight into it. It's definitely a passion of his, and he was working at a senior living community that is who we pulled him out of. I forget the name of it right now, but it was a nice high-end retirement community out in, I believe, North Scottsdale area. Just can't remember the name of it, but really wonderful person, great personality. What'd I do? No, it wasn't Sagewood, so if that's what I thought. No, it wasn't that one.
Cole.
Yes. So the second question is, can I compile the information that, or share the information that was compiled? And the answer is yes. We need to figure out a way to do that, but we will absolutely share that information with you folks as well, for sure. Thank you. Yes.
I just want to know that last dude that you had on stage. What does he do?
Michael is in training. He is fresh out of college. He is basically an internship. It would be a paid internship. So Life Care Services, the company that Emily and I work for, are always bringing in young folks that have graduated from college and looking to have a career in senior living. And so that's exactly, Michael was a part of a very competitive process. It's very difficult to be selected as part of LCS's PDP program. Once you're selected, you are assigned a community. He was lucky enough to get Friendship Village. He will spend about a year with us and really do projects as they come up, in addition to going from department to department, spending time at the line staff level all the way to the supervisory level, and being exposed to really senior living operations at the highest level that you could.
What does PDP stand for?
Professional Development Program. So, who has the next question? I see one up here. Kathleen, if you say it, I'll just repeat it. Sure. What does ROC mean? That means return of capital. So when we have different contracts available to residents, 90% of our residents select traditional contracts, which means nothing comes back to you or estate should you leave the village. But we do have return of capital programs at 80% and 50%, but the entrance fee itself is much greater. So it tends to be a deterrent for folks to do. I see a question in the back. Artis?
Maybe I missed this, but when are you going to put tables in that new area?
Put tables in the new area. We have, I believe, ordered them. We only purchased 2 because we really don't believe we could fit much more than 2 picnic tables in that area. So we're just waiting on them to come in, but there will be 2 picnic tables for people to sit at. Who has the next question? All right, seeing none, I hope to see you at 4 p.m. for our happy hour. Thanks for coming and enjoy the rest of your week.